Was considering playing Terraria, might have been the smarter option, but also we're gonna need 2 streams anyway. So thought, well, oh, may as well not prioritize it as much then. Doesn't need to be done. Since I'd imagine that Duke Fish Run is going to take us another 30 minutes. And then the Empress of Light, if we're doing her, is going to take another like 30-40 minutes. And then by that time, we don't really have a lot of time for Lunar and Moonlord.
True.
That's implying we would beat Moonlord the first time, which we probably wouldn't. What is your shipper rating?
Second. 583.
Alright. There we go. My ship is now appropriately spec'd. Oh wait, did I even pick the ship? Come on. There we go. The Uggy ship, let's go. Oh, this thing turns not good.
Yeah. I can tell by the way you optimized it, and you didn't keep on all the top speed stuff.
I actually didn't. I did go down 1 engine. It's just that this ship is just naturally very fast. Very Numi ship. The Noom. I was considering playing Strive again as well, since John is getting into it. I was like, do we really want to play Strive 4 days in a row? We could have, but may as well play something else while we can. Because that's not going to last very long.
Yeah, we could at some point totally just double stream, you know, do Monster Hunter a bit earlier, and then in the evening play like whatever else. Obviously not right away because
yeah, with Monster Hunter we're gonna
get a monster for a couple times, but
yeah, Monster Hunter, the first few streams of that are gonna be like 5-6 hours long, I'd imagine, where I'm gonna have to play early.
Oh yeah, for single player stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play.
Do we know if there's single player required content?
Yeah, there's the same situation as Rise, so I'm gonna have to play like 2-3 hours of solo, and then we do hub quests.
That's gonna be fun.
I don't mind it, but
play together?
yeah, I do wish it was all still playable in multiplayer. Because I honestly wouldn't mind doing the quests twice. Like, I don't know, maybe... That's what I was going to say, maybe have it so you can play with 2 players instead of 4 as a compromise. But then, like, if you're going to do 2, just make it 4.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a shame. I don't really see the bad side of making village quests playable in multiplayer too.
Yeah, me neither.
Would just be better. Fucking speed. Man, this is a fun ship though. Very, very nice pod racer. It is kind of stiff though.
Yeah, like, from what I played with the arcade version, it is very much just all speed, fuck the turning.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of funny how, for some of the other ships, I like at least know the name, like with the Conqueror and whatever, and the Buran. And the pod racer, I saw it the first time. I was like, "That's a pod racer." No, I have no idea what it's actually called.
Yeah, I don't actually know what it's called either. Helix? No, the Helix is the water one.
Yeah, I think so. Yo, I finished.
Yeah, just barely too. If we're going by the 20-second mark.
Yeah. Oh, they showed Tengen for the Demon Slayer game.
Oh. Tengen coming in hot. I'm wondering, so we know the amount of monsters in Sunbreak, right? Kind of, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention to you that the number I gave you was wrong at first. Because, I think the base game had like 34, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, this is off the top of my head, I think the base game was 34. And then with DLC, like all together, it'll be like 54 or something like that.
So not too much, not too many monsters.
Yeah, but then also if that other thing I heard is true, and there's actually like 400 fucking quests, that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, again, I didn't actually look at the leaks, so this is all just sort of from what I saw people say about the leaks.
Yeah.
So I could just be wildly wrong.
Would it be a little bit sad if there was only like 16 new monsters and we know most of them, but I mean, it's fine. How many did Rise have even? Sorry, World. I mean, Iceborne. Yeah.
I think from what I recall, Iceborne had about the same amount, from what I've seen people say. So it's gonna not feel like that little anyway, because obviously all the monsters are gonna be high master rank.
Oh
G
yeah,
rank.
we're gonna get all the other monsters high rank with new movesets.
Yeah. So although we only got 17 new monsters, in terms of the amount of monsters we'll have to fight to progress through the entire thing, we're just gonna have like 50, 54 or something. And I think that is also kind of what people are overlooking.
Yeah.
When complaining about the amount of monsters, like you're also getting all of the other ones in G rank.
And we're getting them with new movesets and new moves and stuff like that. Not to mention if the thing is true about them, it's really weird how, I know this is like a weird tangent, but I find it baffling. They actually just scrapped Rampage mode. Like,
yeah,
they just were like, fuck it, no more Rampage. Like we're not doing Rampage anymore. People don't like it, and that's weird for me because it's like normally a developer would double down, like not in like a bad way. Like would actually like double down, improve the system, make it something people would like. But the Monster Hunter devs seem to have just been like, no, we're just not doing Rampage mode again, because
yeah, I honestly find it hard to believe that one, so we'll have to see. But Like, I can't imagine them not at least, like, adding a couple new rampages with the new monsters or whatever.
Not to mention, that means that we're not getting any new apexes for Sunbreak. But considering Gormagala's in the game, that's probably what they've done. They've probably been like, okay, we're removing, or not, we're not removing, but we're not doing any more rampage content. Therefore, no more apexes. Therefore, we're gonna have Gormagala come in, and he's gonna be the one doing the frenzied monsters.
I did vaguely see people talk about that type of variant of monsters, but I didn't actually look into it any. I figured I'll see when the game comes out what exactly the case is.
I am hoping we get deviants back from MHGU, where they're the same moveset as the Apex. I saw a video of someone saying why the Apex monsters in Rise were a step down in comparison to the previous Apex monsters, which were like the deviants and the frenzied monsters and like Gormagala stuff. And they were like, well, most of the like they have the exact same moveset, but their lore is very like ambiguous. Like they have very like, for example, the Apex monsters, they're just kind of angry because Ibushi was there. Like how did Brathlos get higher power fireballs from Ibushi being angry at him? Like,
yeah, at least with Gormagala, there's like him dragging his nuts over the floor, causing pheromones to appear all over the place or some shit like that. Whatever the lore exactly is.
There was not to mention, there were like very specific variants as well, and they were called deviants, and one of them was Bloodbath Diablos, which is the same as Apex Diablos in moveset, but the reason they got better is because they actually became a veteran at fighting hunters. So like they would fight hunters, they would get new moves and they would adapt. So they would do things that normally the hunters wouldn't expect, like roar and then immediately charge after their roar while they're stunned. Because they're like, oh, that's a weakness that you hunters have, you know? And you're like, that's actually really cool. The fact that like a monster is actively playing around how you play.
Yeah. There have been a couple times where I've been like, should I just take a peek at the leaks just because like I've got like half information, but I'm like, you know, I do kind of just want to see the monster list pop up in the quest log.
Yeah. DNF duel. Sentenced to DNF duel.
Give it 9 hours.
8 at this point, probably.
True.
Let's go. We haven't done a lot of Old Cairo. Should we use arcade chips? Because then we'll be pretty much matched.
Sure.
Actually, it's annoying because I can't customize them at all. I can't like change their visuals, but I mean.
Yeah. Did you see this poster sent in VC Lounge for Sunbreak?
I did not. Oh my god, that's
really
such a cool poster.
It's so good. Well, it's not a poster. It's a cover for some magazine or something. But God, it's so cool.
What the hell is that helix? Oh my god. Wait, is my game bugged? That's not supposed to be like that. Uh-oh.
What? What's the problem with the helix?
It has like omega huge pylons. Like, I don't think they're meant to be like that.
They're the same for me, actually. But yeah, they are clipping through the rest of the ship.
They don't normally.
Yeah, they're that big for me as well. What the fuck? Man, I want to give the Baran a shot, but it's hard to pick it when they've made like all the worst customization options on it for the arcade version.
Yeah, that is the
Like
worst part about the arcade versions.
They removed the 4 little spikes that come from around the cockpit. They gave it the shittiest color scheme and pattern. Like, come on. You didn't have to.
I like this Ramethal ship. Oh wow, that does not have. Oh, I was expecting more thrust than that, or more durability than that. I like.
Ooh, Oh yeah, no, I already tried the Baran once, and I already commented on this then, but I don't like having giga steering and very little strafe. I do prefer it to be either a nice balance or more strafe, because the Baran feels very weird to control because of that.
Yeah, they've also made all like the worst customization options with this ship as well, where it has literally like 0 durability. I can't boost for more than 3 seconds.
I'm gonna have to give that one a shot in a moment. Sounds kind of funny.
I think I would genuinely rather use my own version, even though it's significantly weaker. Actually, it would probably be better considering the durability. The only thing I've heard about monster leaks is people referring to the final boss as the crystal guy. That's all I've heard.
I've seen his model.
Oh.
I guess I understand why they would call him the crystal guy. At least.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I said I vaguely saw something about new like variations of the monsters. And although I don't know if that's like related to Gormagala exactly, I did also hear that the variations would deal blood blight to you.
Ooh, so it's Malzeno variations. Okay.
I guess so. It just clicked in my mind that's probably
Okay.
that probably relates to Malzeno. I am looking forward to just playing around on that castle map because it does look really sick.
Oh yeah.
This big old vampire theme. And the sets. Like all the sets that are hopefully themed around that are gonna be interesting.
I also did I didn't actually finish my tangent about the Deviant monsters, but the reason that the Apex ones are kind of regarded as worse is because they just don't have any gear associated with them or any quest line. Because the Deviants in previous games, like with Bloodbath Diablos, you had like a full armor set and weapons for Bloodbath Diablos, and you had to like go through an entire quest line in order to achieve them, like a big sub quest line basically, where you fight a Bloodbath Diablos, then you fight a harder version, then like it and another variant monster, and then 2 of them, and then like an EX. Like you had to go through a lot of quests in order to get all the parts you needed to craft the armor.
I was gonna say I don't expect them to return that, but if the like 400 quest number is true, then that might be why. But also, I wonder if, like, maybe if the whole gimmick is that all the variations are some way blood blighted. Maybe that's also gonna be the theme with the hunter sets, where like all the weapons are basically like blood blight versions of the weapons.
Yeah.
Could be interesting, because since blood blight seems to work more like Elden Ring bleed now, from the video they showed. Something like dual blades or glaive or whatever, all the like the fast hitters seem quite fun to use with that.
I perished. in a corpse finish.
Nice.
You know what I want them to do for a future Monster Hunter game? Take that idea of the like specific monster quest line and just apply it to every monster, where like when you unlock a new monster, you unlock that monster's category, and you can go in there and then you can select various quests for that monster, like capture it, slay it, anything goes, it with another monster, capture 2 monsters. You know, like they get to shove in a whole bunch of quests for under one specific monster tree. And you back out and you go like, okay, I want to fight Zinogre now. You scroll up to Zinogre, click on his name, and there's a whole list of quests with him on it. And like vice versa, you know, for every other monster. I want them to do that. I think that would be cool. Because I don't like the way it's done in Rise a little bit. I mean, it's fine. It's great. But, whenever we want to fight, like, a specific monster, we're just like, alright, let's just go with the first quest we see.
Yeah.
It would be nice to go like, alright, what do we want to fight? Let's try this monster. And then we got, like, a whole list. And we're like, alright, let's choose a variation where it's all in one place, which would be nice. What are you using? The Akal Tech?
Nope.
Oh,
Behemoth.
I would not use the Akal Tech on this map, to be fair.
I'm using the Behemoth because it's ugly.
The Behemoth might actually be really good for this map, because...
Yeah, it does have all the durability, so it's gonna be interesting, but I do just really hate the ship design, honestly. It looks ugly to me.
I'll go with this because it has pretty good durability and it has low thrust. I actually want low thrust on this map. Because, means I get to boost more. And I won't get overburdened.
Does the amount of thrust actually increase the amount of overheat though?
Yes. The faster you thrust, the more your ship drains.
Well, oh fuck me! I mentioned I dislike ships with little strafe.
This is the Behemoth is a tank, so.
Yeah, no, this is not a strafer or returner actually. This is just a straight line. This is how I used to ski as a child. Or it's like my skiing teacher would be like, "No, you gotta go like side to side," and I was like, "But I can just sort of go straight down, and it also works. So why wouldn't I?"
Yeah, I think I made the right call with this ship.
I think I was about 4 kilometers wrong with this one. I kind of used it because I know I won't.
Yeah.
Like if when I unlock the ship, I'm kind of skipping it probably. So I figured I should at least use it once, just to see if it's actually really good, and it's not. It really isn't. So. Oh, you know what's actually pretty cool about this ship? The speed on this thing is so fucking trash that I almost didn't have to brake around the corner where you normally fly out.
Oh. Huh.
I could kind of just take that corner pretty casually. Because if I'm not boosting, my top speed is under 1,000.
What is my top speed right now? My natural top speed is like 1,200, yeah.
Yeah, most ships, especially the arcade versions, tend to hover at a bit above 1,000, but this thing? 960-ish? Like, And yeah, it has a bunch of durability, so the idea is that you counteract that by boosting. But you want to know what I boost to?
Mm-hmm.
When I full boost and drain all my HP, 1200 is sort of my consistent boost speed.
So you just go to like what's the natural speed? Yeah.
Yeah, I just get your natural speed by boosting constantly, which is like, how does this make the ship usable?
I think they honestly just spec that one wrong. Where if they're trying to make like a really durable ship, make use of it by having insane thrust, so that you can like counteract it. You can actually make use of the durability.
Yeah, let it just have like, if you give it this 1000 top speed, that's fine. But make it a ship where you kind of have to like, where you're always going to naturally be behind someone, except for the burst where you go giga speed and can actually catch up to people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it actually requires some like strategizing on how to use it. Would be interesting. But this ship is kind of just fucking ass.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, look at the fucking distance difference between us right now.
Have you perished at all?
And I have not perished. I have been bumping into walls a lot because the I just perished. I've been bumping into walls a lot because the steering on the ship is ass, but I only just now died for the first time.
Yeah, and my ship was just faster in every way. I guess we found out that arcade ships aren't really the equal footing we thought they were. I guess it's because they're also just kind of spec like garbage.
I mean, they're equal footing in regards that they're all sort of
the same power level.
Same power level, but some ships are also just better than others. Like how like, isn't the Baran basically just a better version of the starting ship?
Yeah, kind of. That's what I felt like it was.
Yeah, so it's. Although I guess the steer strafe ratio might be a little different. But it's the same with like the two square car like ships, where the second one you get is kind of just better than the first.
Yeah. Slightly less specific, specialized.
Yeah.
Whatever variants there are in Sunbaked actually come with their own armor. Or gear.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Make them worth grinding for.
Yeah, the Apexes were like kind of fun to fight at some point, but like if you're not giving me anything for it, it does really dampen how much I actually want to fight them.
I know people say... Oh, I went through the floor. I know people say, you know, oh, why don't you just play the game for fun? If you like fighting the monster, fight the monster. And it's like, but like half the reason I fight monsters is also so I know I'm getting materials as well.
Yeah, like I was gonna pretty much say the same thing. It's like, yeah, I'm playing the game for fun, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing. But if you give me like 2s and ogres, which are both fun to fight, one of them has a little extra challenge. It's cool, it's fun to fight, it's a little more difficult. And the other one actually gets me materials I care about. I mean, they both give me the same materials. Like, why not just do the normal one and know I'm actually getting the materials? Especially since you can't, I just realized, you can't capture Apexes, right?
Yeah, you can't capture and you can't ride Apex monsters either.
Yeah, so if you need capture materials for whatever thing you're crafting, you're just fucked. You cannot do an Apex quest to get your materials. I think I'm gonna make a beginning on the Monster Hunter randomizer sometime this week. I have to see if I remember how to build a UI. It's been a little bit since I've actually done anything with the GUI.
Yeah, because it would be nice to have a randomizer at some point when we get to the very, very end.
Yeah. I'm gonna see about making it. I'm gonna see about starting it this week and see if I can.
Not to mention
Like,
including some stuff like filters would be nice as well. Tags.
Yeah. And I was thinking earlier, I could also just, and this, all of the ideas I have for it are probably gonna be subject to change once I actually get to working on it and seeing how the UI is gonna look. But I could probably add in a weapon randomizer too. It would be kind of fun. If you're like, I'm not sure what to use, and you just like, okay, these are the weapons I like. Just pick something for me.
Yeah.
Might as well, you know. Oh, well. I was gonna. Oh, okay, I can.
Apparently your ship is better than mine.
Try this one out in a moment. Because you actually gotta experience how fucking ass this feels.
The assest ship of all time.
Honestly, yeah. I haven't tried out the water ship, but I think this might be worse.
I mean, the water ship is good outside of really hot maps. Actually, no, even then it's pretty fine. It's mainly bad on, like, its own stage. What is this fucking spec sheet? Bruh.
I know, right? I know.
It's even got good thrust. Ugh.
Yeah. No, see, the good thrust doesn't make up for the fucking abysmal top speed. And, you know, it's not just the bad steer and strafe, it's also the dogshit stability. So anytime you're doing anything in a corner, you lose all your speed. I actually had a hard time figuring out what top speed was because anytime I cornered, I dipped down to like 700.
What do you...
Hmm?
I boosted for like half a second and lost all my stability. Or lost all my durability.
Yeah, it has massive durability, and it's just gone in 2 seconds. I don't know why. I assume that's because of the really high thrust as well then, but...
Yeah.
It just cancels out into being like average in thrust category, and then shit in the top speed.
I guess it's just... like, the consistent... I guess it's just a consistency ship, like it just does things consistently. But then why wouldn't
why not take the ship with the high top speed so you can go consistently fast?
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you just pick the starter ship?
Or like the one I'm using right now, the Königswerth, where it's like you have a bunch of stability so you actually don't lose much speed in corners.
I don't remember what the Königswerth was.
It's the one with the shields on the side.
Mmm. The Königswerth?
Königswerth. I think I never did learn like proper German speak.
It's similar to Dutch, right? They're not interchangeable, but
I mean, there's especially grammatically, there's some pretty big differences, but it's more that I learned Austrian as a child, which is like it's like British and Texan, you know? It's kind of like the proper version of the language in German, and then the redneck version. I did also come from like the redneck part of Austria, so that didn't help. I crashed again.
Behemoth best ship in the game, clearly.
I tried to go for the like weird skippy thing and I crashed.
Yeah, I'm also going for that skip every time. I like it.
Yeah, it is really fun, but I forgot to do it in time this time, so I didn't go high enough.
I think me being ahead is just map knowledge and gameplay knowledge more than the behemoth.
No, it's me crashing twice in a row just now.
Yeah.
And also once in the first thing.
I mean, the fact that I'm only 2 kilometers ahead and you crashed twice should be a bad sign, actually.
Also, with the ship, I go about 960 in corners, in like long corners without boosting. So my cornering speed is your top speed.
God.
I am hitting walls a fair bit at the moment, which is kind of funny because I'm slamming all the walls and I'm just catching up to you.
Honestly, it's fucking... What this ship needs is stability right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if
like
it should reward good... Like, if you can have your... If you want to have like a ship that has a lot of durability, a lot of boost, and it, like, you're encouraged to boost all the time, you need to be able to maintain that speed, which encourages good driving. Because then if you don't hit anything, you end up probably being on average faster than most other ships. Like it's a risk versus reward.
Yeah, but also like beyond the fact that the ship is bad, it just does not feel good to drive. Like if the ship is technically bad, but it feels really fun to drive, I'm fine. That ship, it does not feel good to me.
Feels not bad on this map as much. But I'd imagine on the heat map, yeah. I had to learn to perfect these maps because this is the maps I'm on in the career mode at this point. Because if you crash in these during like time trial or last man standing, well, on last man standing you die and you just restart. Obviously on time trial, you don't get a medal.
Actually, a small pet peeve of mine about Last Man Standing. If I crash and I instantly press the rewind button, I'm good.
Yeah.
But, so I wish if you had rewinds left and you crashed, it just automatically activated rewind mode.
Yeah.
Because, like, why not? Let me finish the race.
I also wish you had rewind in maybe not like rewind in time trial. Like I wish there was maybe something akin to like there's a platinum medal or something where you get the platinum medal by doing the race really fast, like really like faster than gold, but you also don't use any rewinds, but you can still get gold without with rewinding.
You know, I do wish they made the rewind available on speed. I'm gonna use that call tech now, by the way. But I wish they made the rewind available on speed maps.
Mm-hmm. I use my own ship, I think.
I'm using the call tech.
Let me change the color scheme. I want the pink color scheme. It looks so cool. Fine, I'll go camo. I'd imagine this game will come back once the DLC comes out. I hope that it has a similar situation to other fighting game, other racing games where if one player has the DLC, everyone can play it.
Be nice. At least for DLC maps. I mean, there's probably gonna be DLC ships too, so. Okay, yeah, I'm using the Occult deck, and it's scary how fast I lost my health.
Yeah.
I also just crashed. Oops. Honestly, just not knowing how the ships handle is one of the biggest downsides of using an arcade chip you haven't used before. Like, stats regardless, like... I'm so used to my high steer ship. This feels so weird. Or my high strafe ship. Why does my health keep going?
Yeah, it just disappears on that ship. It just it's
like
it gets robbed.
Genuinely, because I'm not looking at the bar all the time, and I just kind of like barely touch overheating. Suddenly, I get the fucking "Hey, you're dying" sound.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a they respect that ship something fierce because in the version that I have, it's way better.
I think they kind of just put the same stuff on every ship, maybe?
No, they all have different parts, but like they're specifically chosen, so it's not just the same loadout.
Smashing into all the walls because goofy shit.
Goofy. I keep seeing polls. I keep seeing polls on my YouTube for stuff like, "What did you think of the newest episode of Obi-Wan?" And I'm like, I want to see what the results on this are. Literally all of them are like 5 out of 5. I'm like, what? You crazy?
This episode was fine.
Oh, and the 5th episode was fine. It was pretty good. Probably the best, honestly. Mainly because of the last 20 minutes. But like, every episode had that. I'm like, how? I don't understand how you could think this like the show is like a 5 out of 5 for every episode.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of flaws, and I don't see anyone. I think people want to ignore it, like the terrible choreography in the final fight. Oh.
Yeah, I think
everyone being like, "Oh, this is one of the greatest fights in Star Wars history." And I'm like, maybe once Darth Vader starts talking, but
honestly, considering a lot of other choreography in Star Wars has sometimes, like Star Wars choreography is not consistently great. There's definitely better fights. I think a part of it is people just like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
And he is fun to watch as Obi-Wan. I do like him in the show.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, there's like a lot of people, and these people have been popping up more and more, that are unironically fans of the original trilogy. Or not the original trilogy, of the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
It's like, I think those are the type of people that really enjoy this show because I guess they can spot quality.
Yeah, I don't know. If the original, the prequel trilogy, kind of eeks.
It's fine if you enjoyed them, and you know, if you like. There's people that are like, yo, no, these are my favorites. These are the best Star Wars movies. Not just favorite, but like, these are the best ones. And it's like, they're really not.
Yeah.
Kind of stinky.
Honestly, the biggest surprise when rewatching all the Star Wars movies again was The Phantom Menace being kind of just okay, and then Attack of the Clones being like one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah, for the record, frustrated because we were watching them together at some point because I hadn't actually fully watched any of the Star Wars movies really, except for one of them. So we went to watch them together, and Attack of the Clones is just sucks.
It's awful. It's like boring and like it looks awful.
God, it looks so bad.
It's like genuinely some of the worst CGI in any film. It's so
not
bad.
Even like CGI in general, specifically like the green screening was terrible.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like advanced CGI monsters or ships or anything. They're just the green screening alone was fucking dreadful.
People were trying to claim the Obi-Wan show retconned A New Hope.
Actually,
it didn't.
The one thing I saw people complain about in terms of it retconning something was them being like, oh, but Obi-Wan said he'd never met Vader before. When actually, if you go back and look at what he said, it's actually like vague enough that he doesn't specifically say that they never met before, and that their earlier meeting does work within the continuity.
Yeah, I think it like everything they did ends up working out in terms of continuity wise.
Yeah.
In Obi-Wan, it all works and makes sense. And like, sure, I've seen people complain that like the original message of the original kind of gets lost because of their second get together, quote unquote. Let me use the Baran.
Wasn't the line something like I because I would look at people discussing it. Wasn't the line? I think the line was something like, "You were the master last time we met."
Yeah.
Vader saying that too, and
spoilers for Obi-Wan coming up, by the way, probably.
Oh yeah, I saw people complain about that in the one fight where, because like, oh, but Vader just beat Obi-Wan, and that was like in the middle of the show, and then you look at the final episode, and it's like, well, it makes sense again now because he just got his fucking ass handed to him.
Yeah, in the final episode of Obi-Wan like hands Vader's ass to him on a silver platter. Like he legit just like, he could have murdered Vader several times over. Yeah,
so that totally fixes the whole you were the master last time we met thing, because he really was just the master again there.
Yeah, he kicks Vader's ass in the finale after awakening and pulling on his butt plug.
And going anime mode by spreading his arms and throwing 500 rocks at Vader.
There is like an actually comical scene in the final episode of Obi-Wan. It is like so ridiculous where Obi-Wan walks up to Vader, like spreads his arm out and lifts like a bajillion rocks behind him and starts lobbing him at them one by one.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking comical. It's ridiculous. Like it's like goofy, especially considering the circ. I think it's mainly this. I wouldn't mind it if it was in like, I can see Obi-Wan doing that in the original movies, like the first movies, but like considering the context is Vader he's facing, it's so comical.
I was about to say, I could also see him do it like at this point in his life against anyone but Vader.
Yeah.
Like if there was a fight he was like having fun in or whatever, like an interesting opponent, sure, but Vader is kind of like too personal to just be pulling anime stunts like that. Although to be fair, it must have been pretty cathartic after being buried under a mountain of rocks by Vader, just being like, hey, fuck you, have him back.
Have him back. It's like, what, only a year or two after episode 3? It's 10 years, actually. Obi-Wan is set 10 years after episode 3. So it's been quite a while, which makes sense considering Obi-Wan or Ewan McGregor didn't have to change anything about his appearance. They didn't have to de-age him.
It was a good call.
Yeah. There's a scene in Obi-Wan where they have like a flashback of Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting again, and Hayden Christensen looks so old.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he legit looks like an elderly person now, and it.
Oh,
Like I don't mind, but like, it was very weird seeing him like in the original Attack of the Clones outfit. You know, like with the small miniature ponytail and the brown outfit, but he's got like fucking crow's feet. Like,
I do sort of appreciate that they just kept him as him though, and didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice.
yeah.
I will say, since we're kind of talking Obi-Wan spoilers right now anyway, in that final fight, when his mask was cracked and you had the Vader voice mixed with Hayden Christensen's voice, that was just so fucking good.
Yeah, I think that scene and everything after that saves the show from being mid. Like,
I think the two things that make at least that episode really great were that scene and the hello there at the end.
yeah.
The hello there at the end was really funny.
I wasn't expecting them to do that.
Since it sounded so much like the classic hello there, I do wonder if they had to like do that take a couple times until you got it exactly right again.
They did that in
Just
Rebels
the
2 with
line.
Ahsoka at the end of season 2. They did, I remember that, but I honestly think they did it better in Obi-Wan. Because, well, for one, it's, Vader doesn't look goofy like he did in Rebels. But, he also sounds and looks a hell of a lot more sinister.
The lighting on his face is so good in that scene too. Like the alternating between the red and blue light from the lightsabers, just sort of casting the light on his face, really adds a lot.
You'll be watching it tomorrow? It's really good. That one scene. The choreography on the fight is garbage. Like everything
Or at
prior.
least part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah.
But after that, and his mask gets cracked, it's actually one of the best scenes in Star Wars.
Also, like, related to choreography, I suppose, minor gripe about that fight where they just sort of teleport all of a sudden. In a sequence with like a fight happens, they show something else, go back to fight, and they're just in a completely different location now. It's
Yeah.
like, what happened? What were you doing?
You'll probably be able to see it and spot it if I tell you, and point it out. But there's like genuinely 15 moments where Darth Vader can just swing and kill Obi-Wan clean in the fight, the final fight, which is so disappointing because it like the choreography therefore is just like total ass because there's so many instances where Obi-Wan should just be dead to rights. Like early on, Darth Vader literally grabs him by the head and just throws him away. Like,
Yeah, and a lot of hitting swords instead of trying to hit the person.
yeah, they're constantly trying to hit the lightsabers as opposed to each other, and like Darth Vader gives Obi-Wan time to do these floopy moves when he could literally just, I don't know, jerk his hand forward and murder him in an instant. Like, it's very sloppy shit choreography in my opinion. It's ugh.
That said, the choreography in the scene of Obi-Wan and Christensen fighting in the past was quite nice.
It was
I
good.
really did like that.
I feel like someone else might have directed that scene because like it was actually really good. That one.
I still remember when we were watching the episode, and at the beginning of the episode, they showed a bit of the scene, and they cut it right before the fight, and we were both just so fucking upset at that. Like, come on, you gotta show it, and then they sprawled it in throughout the episode. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is fine.
Yeah, I like that they had that. I was a little bit disappointed at first when they cut away like 5 seconds in and like, oh come on. You can't just like
Yeah.
have them go in their outfits for like 2 seconds and then nothing else.
You know what's funny? The ship I'm using right now can boost for so much longer than the Behemoth.
Yeah.
And I know it's because it has weak thrusters, but like the higher top speed makes up for that anyway. Really nice ship this, I forgot about that.
If 4 wasn't mid
Have
first,
you-
you could have killed him in the show. Yeah, I mean, obviously the reason that Vader doesn't kill him is because Obi-Wan has to live. Obi-Wan can't lose that fight, objectively. Neither can Darth Vader. They're kind of at an impasse at that, but also you can still make the choreography good. Like, that's kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can make it so there aren't, like, 40 instances where Darth Vader can just move his hand slightly to the left and instantly kill Obi-Wan. And instances where Obi-Wan or where Vader objectively wins that he just doesn't capitalize on. Like, if Vader truly is like despising Obi-Wan's guts to the point where he just sees blind rage and wants to go ham, he sure as hell wasn't doing it in that final fight. He kind of looked like an actor who was playing alongside alongside Ewan McGregor while wearing a clunky Darth Vader suit and trying his absolute best. I mean, I'm assuming it was Hayden Christensen, and considering what he did in the prequel trilogy, he's fully capable. I think it was just poor choreography. Where they're like, we want to have these cool things. We want to have Obi-Wan shoot rocks everywhere. We want to have him do this flippy parry thing. And you're like, yeah, but what about this? And like, no, it doesn't matter. He needs to do it. It looks cool. And sure, looks cool, but doesn't make a lot of sense, sadly. Yeah, once they stop fighting and start talking, really good. And then everything after that is also really good.
Right until they include Leia again.
Yeah, I really wish that it was just about Luke.
Obi-Wan, yeah.
Well, I mean, I do mean, like, if what I expect from an Obi-Wan story is after the third movie is him and Luke, not him and Leia. That's kind of weird. Yeah. Not to mention, they did actually make sense of it at the end, where the reason Obi-Wan, if Vader knows Obi-Wan is on Tatooine, why not kill him before he can get to Luke? He doesn't. Vader actually doesn't know where Obi-Wan is at first. And he also doesn't end up knowing where Obi-Wan is after their fight, either. Because the person who has that information is on Obi-Wan's side by that point. It doesn't get disclosed to Vader.
Yeah.
And we're talking about full spoilers at this point. It's the Sith Inquisitor lady. She ends up turning to his side at the end. Not fighting Vader, but like she kind of reasons with him. And she's the only one who knows where he is, so Vader doesn't know that information still. So it makes sense why he doesn't go to Tatooine to search for Obi-Wan.
God, I forgot how nice this ship feels to use.
What ship is that?
It's kind of the orb one.
It's
kind of funny because like this ship has omega thrusters and okay durability.
Yeah.
So this feels like the way the Behemoth should feel to use, you know?
Yeah.
Like okay speed, but just giga thrusters that you rely on.
Ugh. Did you fucking see that? Oh my god.
It was crazy. That was actually, yeah, that was really nice, huh?
But yeah, everything does make sense at the end of Obi-Wan, continuity-wise.
Yeah,
it really does just depend on if you think it, like, it's better with or without the extra interactions. Because I saw some people say they prefer it being, they prefer the transition from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, as opposed to Obi-Wan to A New Hope. Because of like what it thematically means and stuff, but I don't mind. I've never really been like diehard Star Wars fan.
Star Wars is cool. Actually, It's funny you say you've never been a diehard Star Wars fan when you've got like a couple 100 pounds of lightsabers.
Actually, true. I guess I am a big fan of Star Wars, but I'm not like a. I guess Omega.
You're not like the stereotypical sweaty Star Wars nerd.
Yeah. I'm like, I like good choreography, and I think the movies are very average, but I like the world. That's why I also.
Which is why Mandalorian is so damn good.
Which is why the Mandalorian is really good, and the Book of Boba Fett to an extent as well. It's a little less good, but it's still really good.
Because it's all like, hey, you know, we've got this phenomenal, like, really cool world. Maybe we should just use that instead of just relying on fucking Skywalker again.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, we've kind of seen everything there is to see from his family. Like, there's more stories, yeah, whatever. But we have seen a lot of the Skywalkers.
You saw that the Inquisitor thing retcons the first half of Rebels? Like, her...
Yeah, but who cares about Rebels? I'm joking.
Her killing the Grand Inquisitor, you mean? Because he isn't dead. Or he doesn't end up being dead. If we're just revealing full spoilers at this point, which we have been for a while.
Yeah, we have just been fucking dumping all the info about the show pretty much.
Yeah, so it's not retcon. Don't worry, they didn't retcon that. He's alive. He comes back and like he comes back and teabags Reva from the grave. She's sitting there claiming for revive me. I have ray gun, and he's like, nah.
She is actually though.
She literally. Jesus, the Mantis is good. Actually, like,
oh yeah,
top 2 ships in the game.
The other one being Pod Racer.
I don't know. Maybe.
Pod Racer edges out the other ones because it just looks so damn cool.
Yeah. I do like a lot of the... I like the visuals of Star Wars mostly as well. Like the kind of visual design.
I think, like, all the people making ships for Star Wars do a damn good job because, like... Okay, I like pretty much every Star Wars ship except the slave one. Fucking hate that thing.
I love the slave one. I think the slave one is really cool.
It's so dumb though.
It's dumb, but I love it. It's like perfect Star Wars tech where it's like this big hunk of junk that does some stupid thing.
But like ships like the Razor Crest, I guess. I really like the Razor Crest. It's like that isn't sort of standard spaceship design because it kind of is just a block with some thrusters attached, but it makes it really cool.
I mean, if you wanted to talk dumb ships as well, like the Millennium Falcon, the design of the Millennium Falcon also has a dumb aspect that's never ever shown on the movies, where it literally connects to a cargo ship from the front. That's what the gap is in the middle. Is like the gap is that it literally like slots into a cargo ship that's like 4 times its size. So instead of, it's kind of like how a truck drags a trailer behind it, but the Millennium Falcon drags it in front, which is why the cockpit is also to the side, which is an equally, I think, is like maybe even a more dumb design than like the Slave One, just turning. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's cool. Star Wars has always had these really gimmicky, weird, like dumb ships. Especially considering its most famous one is also really dumb.
My problem with the Slave One is that, like...
Oops, I fucking...
Apart from just sort of not liking the way it looks, I can't imagine using that ship for, like, more than a week and not instantly selling it, because just getting in and out of it seems like such a fucking pain in the ass. Where you, like, have to lie down on your back while it's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever it's landed, this cockpit is just facing directly upwards.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine the reason it's worth using is because You know, it's really flat. I think that's the reason why. Is because they wanted it to be a really flat ship, but they wanted it to be really tall in terms of like actual presence. So, best of both worlds. You have a ship that's flat on the ground, but then stands upright when in the air, and also comes with like a bunch of weapons. It's basically its own mobile, fucking AA weapon.
Blades.
Like it's
It
just,
also kind of reminds me of.
like it's just a plate of guns when it's standing upright, which is probably why they wanted it to be like that.
The way it sort of like shifts from laying down to standing up. Also, always it feels like it's supposed to be the head of a giant mech of like Power Rangers turning 6 mechs into one kind of thing, where he is the head.
You're correct, actually. It's exactly that. Have you two seen the ship from the Force Awakens game? I've seen it because I've played the Force Awakens 1 and 2, but I don't remember it. It's somewhere in the databanks, but it's gone.
The archives are incomplete.
The archives are incomplete. That ship.
It up after this racy.
Ship is ugly. I like how in every single piece of media that Darth Vader's in where he loses, he has to have like half of his mask cracked. Like Rebels, The Force Awakens, fucking Obi-Wan.
So cool.
It looks cool, but man, he must get sick of having one eye exposed.
It's also like a pretty good strategy anyway, if you're like, you are literally in a suit that is giving you constant life support. Why don't I just break the suit?
Oh, that is actually one cool thing that Vader... Yeah, that is one really cool thing that Obi-Wan actually finally does to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Is that in the finale, during their fight, he like smashes his panel in the center.
Yeah, he targets the suit controls and the little buttons. He's like, hey, fuck your life support, die.
Yeah, he like literally destroys Vader's life support, and which causes him to start gaining the upper hand. And it's like the first time I've seen that done.
I think I sort of mentioned this to you during the episode, but it's like he actually did the meme people make, where it's like just press the off button on his suit. Like he actually just did that pretty much.
Yeah.
Just a little more aggressively. Ooh, I went too far down, and now I crashed.
There is also the Cloud City ships, which are two ships tethered together by a fucking pole. Like, why not just have one ship? Is like that too hard to ask?
I also like how all the like freighter ships and like civilian transport ships are kind of just like boring, you know?
Yeah.
Like these are just like very much just built like, hey, we need a ship and it can house 50 people to transport them around. Okay, here is a cabin that is 50 people, a cockpit, and some thrusters.
Yeah, they're all like specifically boring.
Yeah, like very much just function over form, and I like that because like I think sometimes like space fantasy writers will design all their ships to be like flashy and sleek and sexy, and it's like that's like premium costs, you know, and no one's gonna pay premium costs just to like transport cargo around. Or like the cargo ship from like the third episode of Obi-Wan or whatever, fourth maybe.
Yeah.
Where it's like a box. So it's yeah, it's nice.
It's really, yeah, I do like the really simple ships because it adds that bit of world building diversity that you kind of need. Where not every ship is going to be the fucking Naboo cruiser.
And I know I already mentioned the Razor Crest. What I really like about the Razor Crest, like the first time I saw it was like, And that is a really big clunky ship for a bounty hunter. And then you see him have like the space for the people he puts in the carbon or whatever. It's like, oh, that actually makes a ton of sense, you know?
Yeah.
It's like he has sort of like a semi-cargo ship just so he can bring it back all the people from his bounty hunts. And then now he has the fucking sleek and small ship because he doesn't really need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Probably won't do that, I suppose.
I just smelled something really weird. You ever have that where you have like, out of nowhere, just some really random smell that smells really bad? It's not a fart. But like, it smelled like something burning.
Oh, I actually had that today, but also earlier today I went to use my hair dryer, and like I instantly smelled a burning smell. I was like, God, did I just fucking burn my hair? And I didn't, thankfully. But the back of it, where like the air intake is, was just covered in a thick layer of dust, and I'm like, okay, that's probably why. Oh, also, Harrow mentioned a ship. From the Force Awakens games.
Is it very dumb?
I cannot find it.
Gemini Star Destroyers from Star Wars Visions Episode 2? I don't remember what those look like.
Check.
It's still kind of...
the double ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, the thing in the middle, yeah. Yeah, that was also a pretty quirky one.
It's really baffling to me that Trigger had the worst Star Wars Visions episodes. Like, that's kind of weird. I was expecting them to have some of the best ones, but...
I still did quite like the animation in those.
I mean, they're good.
Very cool.
They're definitely very good. Especially, like, the second one they did.
So I know this is sort of me probably just me missing obvious clue, but in the episode, like the black and white episode with the Ronin, who has his lightsaber put in the sheath, I kind of just assumed that was because it looks cool, but I only realized later that the point was that his emitter switch is broken, so he puts it in a sheath so he doesn't, you know, have to worry about dying.
That's kind of cool.
Apparently that is the lore reason. His emitter switch is permanently on, so he just put it in a sheath. I really like that, actually, for a reason. That's because he very much obviously didn't really have the fanciest lightsaber or whatever. He was very much on his own, so I like that he just, like, broken, well, guess I'll just cover it then. Also did go back to rewatch that episode, or like the fight part of that the other day. Like the fight, honestly, that most of that episode is really damn good, but God, do I hate the umbrella lightsaber the lady had. His opponent had. It's just so fucking ugly. I'm really glad really they removed the umbrella part as soon as they went to the fight. Just. So that is very much like peak fan lightsaber design, you know?
Yeah. I think my favorite of the episodes was probably the Lop one. The bunny one.
Oh, the bunny one was really good, yeah.
It's the one I remember the most. Either that or the... I'm not sure, the Masked Jedi one was also really good.
Yeah, like there were... Yeah, I actually just read a Star Wars discussion about Visions not long ago, and remind me of the one episode where it's like what was the premise? Wasn't it the kid whose father had all the lightsabers hidden away, and then he met up with a bunch of Jedi, and like they all pulled out red lightsabers. They were all just secretly Sith. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool reveal. Yeah, Star Wars Visions had some really fun concepts to play with. I liked it a lot overall.
Yeah, I really hope they give it a season 2 and honestly maybe let the teams do a series. I wouldn't mind a mini series with some of them.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, I looked at chat. I crashed into 2 walls. I should not be looking at a chat while I'm in a corner. That's probably not the best idea.
Ugh.
Holy shit, I'm fucking up so hard right now.
What ship are you using?
Default. I'm using the starter ship.
Because I'm using the thruster ship and it's not doing too well.
Yeah, I mean it feels very nice for me, but it isn't. I didn't exactly catch up to you when I was using it. It's I don't think it's particularly strong. I just like the way it feels to drive mostly. But I think even on a ship like that with Giga Thruster, like the top speed overall is just too good. Because like thrusting to 1500 kilometers an hour is nice, but I can also just sort of thrust out of the corner anytime I have to corner and instantly be at 1300.
Yeah.
And maintain that throughout most of the stage, and that's just kind of better.
It is just getting a season 2. Nice. Very well deserved as well. The final episode was really unexpectedly non-traditional.
What one was that?
It was the one animated really kind of like, I wouldn't say sloppily, but stylistically, where the dude ends up becoming a Sith in the end. Ah, I died again.
You know what episode I actually really my least favorite one probably was the like band one.
The band one?
You don't remember it?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's why. Because when I was looking through like a specific scene of one of the episodes, I came across the fucking episode where it's just
Jedi Padawan turned singer, yeah.
Yeah, where they're just playing in a band. It's like, God, this fucking sucks. Oh yeah, this I'm looking at the final episode now. Yeah, that was interesting. Let's see what there was one I was thinking of though. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, the 4th episode where it's like in the. I think this might have been the Masked Jedi. We're talking about the like the jungle place. We were hanging out in the jungle. Yeah, that was the Masked Jedi one. Really like that episode. Very cool.
Yeah, most of them were very cool, at least.
What was the first one again? Was that the Ronin? Yeah, the first one was Ronin. Such a strong start to the Star series.
Star Wars What If has so much potential. That's kind of what Visions is, to an extent.
Yeah.
I really like the really non-traditional.
I got bootied. Yeah.
I cannot do anything. Alt F4.
I was gonna say see if you can join me, but I suppose it also works.
Is in what they did with Marvel?
More like specific main character.
I know what you
ifs
mean.
could also be interesting.
I kinda, but I don't really care. Like Skywalker, but what if he was good? It's like, doesn't really we've explored the official story a bit too much.
Yeah. Also, like, I liked Marvel's What If overall, but a couple of the episodes did feel a bit weird. Like T'Challa as Star-Lord is my prime complaint with that series, honestly, because it's like the show pretty much, that episode pretty much just starts with like 15 minutes of being like, hey, look, T'Challa is just way better than Peter Quill in every single way. Peter Quill is a fucking idiot and he sucks. That's just how that episode feels, because it's like he is actually famous and he's leading the Ravagers pretty much, and everyone loves him and knows him, and he talked Thanos out of being a genocidal maniac. It's like, why? Why do you gotta make fun of Peter Quill so hard?
Yeah, I've only seen the Doctor Strange What If episode. I haven't seen any of the others.
There's also the thing where, like, in the final 2 or 3 episodes, I think it was, they pulled all the other episodes together.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really nice, except, like, they didn't actually pull in What If zombies at all. Except, and I know technically they did, because at one point Doctor Strange opened a portal to drop a bunch of zombies on Omega Ultron, but that doesn't count. He just used them as props for an attack. He didn't, like, none of the actual characters from that episode really got brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and I know that this isn't really part of the, I know that this is just sort of a problem with the scheduling for the series or whatever, but one of the important characters they brought in for the final couple episodes was from an episode they didn't actually finish and include in the series.
Oh.
So yeah, you have the situation where it's like, oh look, the Watcher pulled all these people from the universes we've seen, and it's really cool because you get to see them again, you get to see them work together, and they pull out like Gamora from an episode that didn't happen yet, and I had to look it up because I was just confused. Like, did I miss an episode? Am I just confused somewhere? But no, they just hadn't finished the episode yet. Couldn't include it in time.
Ugh.
But yeah, it was overall a fun show.
Man, why are they giving us Neptune back? Give me back my Neptune. With the classical music as well, included.
Neptune is my favorite SpongeBob character.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a lie. He sucks in SpongeBob. I don't like him.
Ugh. So you said you always wanted to hyper boost on the corner here, right? Is this the one with the loot? No, it's not this one. Oh, it's that one. Right ahead. Oh, I barely scraped the wall.
Oh, yeah, no, this is that one where it's like the jump into corner where, like, even without the hyper boost, you're already clipping through the floor because of the speed.
Yeah.
But I really do love Omega boosting in that.
Oh, I got fucking screwed.
Honestly, I really wish that clip of me just losing 30 kilometers after clipping through 3 floors happened to you on stream.
Mm-hmm.
I did a high quality clip of it, because man, that would have been good.
I think the reason that happened was because the game considered you in a different location, so it unloaded collision for that area, which is why you were 30 kilometers behind. At least that's what I think happened. Oh, I forgot that you don't regen funny points here, funny thrust.
They got sucked.
Gravity hole, Tukey hole. Gravity hole? The black hole, Tukey hole?
Yep.
Still baffles me that when I played Elite Dangerous, or when we played Elite Dangerous, I always considered like the end game ships to be like, man, I'm gonna have to play this game for years if I want to get the end game ships, because considering how much money you need to get for those. And I literally have the most expensive ship, like just sitting in a garage somewhere right now.
Yeah. Because you just went
Never
hard
used
on
it.
open mining.
Yeah. Only took us like, what, 20 hours?
Yeah. You know, this is sort of out of nowhere, but I mentioned earlier I've been playing Gears Tactics, like the Gears of War XCOM game, and I was gonna buy the 40k one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my biggest problem with stuff like that is, like, I'm playing all the Gears one now, and it's like, I feel like I should know a lot of Gears of War lore for this, and I don't. I've never played a Gears of War game, so I'm just kind of sitting here and they're like, oh, this person, it seems important, and I'm like, yep, he does seem important, I guess. Like, you're talking about him as if he's important, so I'm gonna assume he's a big lore character. And like, they just, I can never tell, because sometimes games just sort of introduce something by casually like dropping the term. Like, they're just, oh hey, this is, like, instead of being like, these enemies are called locusts, they just have the characters call them locusts, and that's a fine way of introducing them.
Yeah.
But I can never tell if it's like, in stuff like this, I can never tell if like this is just their way of introducing it, or if I'm supposed to know it already.
Yeah.
And with the Gears tactic, it's not been too bad, but I feel like it's gonna be really bad on the 40k one.
Nah. Maybe not. I mean, a lot of 40k is just kind of understandable by itself. The only Gears of War game I've actually played is Gears of War 3. Played like a little bit of that. Mostly the horror mode it had. It was pretty fun. I think I actually live streamed it back when it came out in like 2010. At least I vaguely remember doing that, because I feel like I remember making a clip of it.
Pet peeve of mine in that game, in Gears Tactics, I got like, I unlocked the sniper units, and my sniper unit has like worse accuracy than my than everyone except for my minigunner. It's like, what's your point then? Why are you here? Be accurate, please.
Let's do Cassini. I'm sad I never actually got to visit a black hole in Elite Dangerous, because they're just they're too far away from the center. Although I did travel like, what was it? I can't remember if it was like 200 or I think it was 2,000 or more light years. Probably more. No, it's probably more than that. Considering the time scale in Elite Dangerous. But I traveled all the way to the research planet, the one that gives you all the engineering parts for your ship, to get like the one that upgrades your travel distance, your jump distance. And that took like 30-40 minutes. I think it took like 20 minutes for one trip and then another 20 to go back, because it was so far away.
Man, imagine how much Elite Dangerous we would have played if the update was actually good and didn't just completely destroy VR.
Yeah. Oh, it's so disappointing. We would have played like 10-20 streams of Elite Dangerous if Odyssey was any good. Easily. We would have been like all over that.
Or maybe even if Odyssey just hadn't come out, but the fact that Odyssey came out and was bad kind of soured my taste for the game in general a bit.
Yeah, because we were playing it and we were having fun, and then we're like, we'll hold off for Odyssey because we're waiting on it, you know?
Yeah.
And then it came out and we were like,
it's so cool.
yeah. And then it came out and we were like, oh, it's shit. Oh, well, I guess we're not playing it.
Yeah, like they have this fucking great VR implementation in the base game, and then in Odyssey they just make it so like, well, surely there's no way to do on-foot travel in VR. Never been done before, so we're just gonna make you look at a screen.
Yeah.
Like a virtual screen in VR. It's like, okay. It's interesting because like before that update came out, I was like, oh, I really wonder how they're gonna make foot travel work with a flight stick. It's gonna be really interesting to see. And then they just were like,
we're not doing it.
Fuck that. We're gonna give you an even weirder fucking decision. You don't even have to wonder if we made it work with a flight stick or not, because we just didn't make it work in VR.
Yeah, that really just soured Elite Dangerous. It's funny enough, they've had to do so much backtracking. Oh, I died. But they've had to do so much backtracking on Odyssey, where they were like, oh, we're going to release a console version of Odyssey at some point. And they've recently been like, no, we're not. We're not releasing Odyssey on consoles. Yeah, like, we just can't, because it is both unstable on PC and is also not very good, apparently. And keep in mind, this is also after they said that taking on VR and making VR better was too much for them as well. Like, what kind of speaks volumes for how fucked up Odyssey ended up being. The fact that they can't do VR or a console port because it's that bad. Crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. I didn't actually know about them just deciding not to do a console port. For a while, every time I saw an update for Elite Dangerous in my Steam library, I went and looked just to see if they did anything for VR for Odyssey. And I was really disappointed every time. It's like, nope, still nothing.
We need to look up
the game, I guess.
Yeah, we need to look up and see if they're doing anything. If they actually announced anything about it now.
Imagine if they actually just announced it like early July, just like every fucking other thing that comes out right now.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind. Because I would rather have it than not.
I wouldn't mind just because they're probably gonna need some extra time to actually get it good anyway. Let other people deal with that one.
Ah, my fucking integrity. I mean, Elite Dangerous itself, nothing about the base game really changed all that much. It was still, it's still a fun game.
Yeah.
But, man, we would just be farming Void Opals again. Which is fun, but, like, why don't we just play Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak?
Redout.
Or Redout 2 as well.
I went for Redout 2 because it's, like, a little similar at least in terms of theme, but yeah, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
A game we can actually like make progress in and learn more about, as opposed to just playing for the fun of it. Which I would do for Elite Dangerous. I mean, I would expect Elite Dangerous to come back at some point. How soon that is, both depends on if they fix or add VR for Odyssey, or we get bored and we have literally nothing else to do. So like August. Or even further, like September, November.
Or Sunbreak is like actual fucking dog shit somehow.
Somehow, like, by the divine power. Like them calling forth the Affinity Stones to make the DLC fucking garbage.
Yeah, because it's gonna be hard to make the DLC bad enough to make the game in general unplayable. Or just unfun.
But I have like 100%, 99% confidence they wouldn't do that.
Here's the thing, right? If everything they added fucking sucks, we still have master rank versions of the monsters.
Yeah.
And that at the base level is already interesting enough.
But I mean, I would not expect Sunbreak to be bad at all. In fact,
Yeah,
I expect it to be better than Rise. Really, DNF? You were only
I crashed twice in the final round.
yeah, because you were only like 2 kilometers behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Elite Dangerous is ever going to return, it'll be like August, September, November. When Sunbreak is quote-unquote done. When the heat is done. Heat is wavered away. But even then, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is releasing constant DLC. Like constant free updates with new monsters. Yeah, even in August. Like they're doing it almost every month.
I would say if Elite Dangerous is coming back, I think honestly next year might be a better guess, or like end of the year.
Yeah, next year is probably the better guess. That's the more accurate guess. But I mean, it's 1 out of 365. You know. There, I mean, we could just throw in a Elite Dangerous stream just to fuck it up. You know. Are you using the Baran?
Yeah.
No, you're using the Mantis.
No. Yeah, I decided I wanted to give the Mantis a shot again.
I was like, you're using the Baran, we're on equal footing? Oh my god. I do think the Mantis is better than the Baran by quite a margin.
Oh. I clipped through the floor. So.
Well. Baran can beat bugs, at least.
Oh, Gears Tactics has like a system where if you kill an enemy, sometimes they don't like fully die.
Yeah.
And you can you can doom finish them.
Mm-hmm.
And like you know the Gears of War chainsaw gun attachment. You know, so of course there's a unit that has that and just fucking slices them apart.
Yeah.
But the minigunner just walks over and drops the minigun on their head.
Oh.
Just lets the weight of the minigun kill him. It's really funny.
Ugh. Also, there's something I did notice. I think Crash Team Racing is on PC. I remember seeing it maybe when I booted up the Blizzard app. Because it's Activision. Could always play that at some point, maybe. Since we tend to like kart racers. But that would be like way in the future, honestly.
Yeah.
That is 2023 knowledge.
You know, I kind of wanted to just play some Overwatch. Like I installed Overwatch just sort of to like basically prepare for the beta.
Yeah.
I just been having a lot of fun with Overwatch again right now. God, it's such a fun game.
I do kind of want to play it again, but a bit late now.
Just play with me off stream.
Yeah, true. And also the beta, the Overwatch 2 beta is coming out anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you have it installed. You could like play a couple quick play matches sometime off stream, just to sort of like get used to Overwatch again for you. I was sort of grinding arcade matches for the loot boxes you get by playing arcade matches.
Yeah.
If you like win 9, you get 3 loot boxes. And I needed one more, so I did the 1v1 mode, where you get to pick between 3 heroes and then you get to fight. and you do like first to 5. And I faced against an enemy who just walked off the map every time they spawn instantly. And it's like, I mean, I guess I appreciate the free win, but why? Why would you do that with your time? And honestly, it felt like such a boring and disingenuous win that even though that was the final one I needed, I just played another one anyway. It's like I do want to actually play the game a little bit, so.
Yo, the lights aren't flickering. Let's go? I wonder if it's like a specific thing that causes the lights in this map to flicker. Or the special effects. What is that over there? Oh, it's the top of the shield. I thought it was like a planet. Oh, I'm kind of disappointed now. Because I saw that like a planet with a massive dome in it, and I was like, oh my god. Or a massive bowl. Like, that could be such a cool idea for a map.
Oh yeah, he is. I saw it on your stream just now.
But it turns out it's just the shield. Man, living where we race must be fucking awful.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
I mean,
the engines are fairly silent.
Based on like Mariana Trench and the caverns. At least part of the places we race are just abandoned.
Yeah, they're tourist locations, so you wouldn't expect to stay there.
I think there's like 1 or 2 that might be actual cities, but I think mostly it's just places people tried to live at some point and it didn't work out for whatever reason, so fucking put the racetrack there. Because what else will people draw people to, like, empty, desolate wasteland?
War-stricken lands. I'm driving over the ashes of fallen warriors.
Like making a fucking racetrack in Pompeii right now. Like, look at this cool historical dig site and look at the cool racetrack.
Look at all the skulls. Isn't it cool?
Oh, and the driver hit the corner, flipped out of it, and just destroyed several historical artifacts. What a sight to behold.
New record! Each racer has a tally of how many historical artifacts they've destroyed.
Each racer has a record of how many billions of damages they've caused.
Did you ever play the Rabbids turn-based game?
Nope.
Cause I played.
It's pretty good.
It's okay. I mean, if you're an experienced turn-based game fan, it's probably a little bit bare. Because like the hit chances are just you either hit or you don't. For the most part. There's not a lot of percentage chances in like rolling dice and stuff like that. But I ended up getting stuck with like one boss and I never played it again. It was around like the midway point.
Beaten by the rabbits.
Yeah, the Rabbids game is too difficult for me. Orbiter. It feels like my computer's a lot harder than it actually says it is. It says 60C right now. which is pretty good for how intensive Redout is, and also recording and streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But then I like put my hand over to the back of it, and it's like, wow, that is burning.
I mean, 60 degrees Celsius is also just pretty damn hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever it's rendering, it's still averaging about 80-ish. Yo, Sim Camo. Oh.
What?
I got the fucking...
Oh, I see, yeah. The funny bug.
The fucking bug jump scare. Are you in the menu?
Yep. I'm with you.
I wish there was a way to tell. Like maybe make their icon red.
Right?
Yeah, but it shows. It does show in the top right, but you could still be in the match, and I wouldn't know.
No, I get booted out the moment you quit.
Oh,
I just get sent straight back to the main menu.
Man, I can't wait to play DNF Duel tomorrow and have to lab out 4 bajillion combos.
You don't have to, you know.
I want to. No funny bug, let's go.
But my biggest problem with DNF Duel is that there's like many characters I'm interested in, and I have no idea who I'm gonna play.
There's like one for me, so that's fine for me. I actually haven't seen the full roster since I stopped following the game once they revealed I had a block button, and I was like, So I don't know any of the characters beyond Crusader or like the launcher lady.
Did you see the weeb with the stand?
No.
He's one of the characters I'm interested in. He's like it's a swordsman, but he also has like basically a stand who also has a sword. He seemed pretty interesting. Yeah, there was definitely some interesting characters.
Yeah, beyond Crusader, I only really know a couple.
I'll send you like a couple of the more interesting ones later. The ones that have been revealed.
Yeah, I can just check up the roster as well. What is there?
Yeah,
like 12 characters?
I don't actually know. I think there's actually a bit more than that.
It's weird how there was a time when I thought, oh yeah, like each fighting game has to have 20 characters. At least.
I mean, there is definitely there's a minimum for me, because I do feel like I do feel like Herds, for example, could definitely use a couple more characters.
Yeah, I think it could use a couple more. I think it's fine though, as it is. Like I wouldn't want more of it resulted in lower quality of the characters and stuff like that. I think Herds is also a unique case because it's like an actual like indie 2D animated fighter by a pretty inexperienced team.
I mean, I definitely understand that Herds just like has serious, massive constraints by manpower they have. So it's not like I'm saying that the game is. I'm not faulting them for it, but I do think the game. I do think my preference goes to fighting games that have at least like at least 10 characters or so is probably a good minimum, I think.
About 10 or 12 is when I like below 10 or 12 is when I start to think, I'm not sure if I like that.
Because my problem with Herds, for example, is that like it's very easy to just not have any characters that really speak to you. Like Jano is fun, but she's not a character I'm really like, oh yeah, this is it. this is a character I fucking love.
Yeah.
This is great. It's kind of just like, it's more of a best I've got situation for me in that genre.
Yeah, and the more characters there are, the more of a chance of finding the one.
Yeah. And although I know they've apparently said that they want to add a grappler, sort of the lack of like touching on all the generic fighting game archetypes is a little bit sad.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because all the current characters in the game are multi-purpose. You know, like they all do kind of interesting things. Where Arizona's like a rushdown mix-up grappler, and you know, Velvet's what would it be, like a zone? Well, I mean, she's mostly just a zoner. Every character has like big rushdown mix-up tools, in some way. Ish.
Yeah.
I'm going with the fucking Giga, the bugged Helix. Oh, see, now they're not bugged. This is how it's actually supposed to look.
They're still quite big for me. Can you open up your thing again? Oh yeah, okay, now I definitely see the difference because... Okay, now here's the interesting part. Are you going to see mine really big or not?
I can't even see your ship.
I see yours normally in the startup thing.
Yeah, they're
so
normal
I think
right
you'll
now.
see mine massively.
Oh.
No, wait, mine are also normal now.
What?
I don't know why you were flying there, but that's okay.
I died? I exploded.
It's so funny, actually. You know what, that also happened. That happened to me once as well. Remember, like very early on, I just exploded at the start of a race.
The fuck?
And I was like, oh, maybe that's because I was holding boosts
before
the round started, and that's not actually the case. I think I'm not sure, but I don't think that is what caused you to explode. I think it's just a bug.
Hmm. I don't know what that route is. I never take it.
Yeah, I was trying it, but I've yet to actually successfully get it ever. I think, except for once when I was sort of giga boosting it, maybe. But oh, I just fell.
I just saw the second place sign fling across my screen. Oh, it's this one with the Giga Skip.
Oh, I am dying all over the fucking place. I am not actually used to the ship, and I'm also sort of blanking on the stage.
Hmm.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's this part where you can just skip like most of the platforms right until the final one. Oh, I just crashed again. Man, I am not doing well this race.
Yeah, this is like one of the harder maps in my opinion. Ugh. There's a pterodactyl on the course. Like
what?
There was a pterodactyl
Oh,
just on the course for me.
Just barely caught it on your stream. Wacky. Did you say hi?
Yeah, I crashed into him.
Well, you didn't even slow down to let him pass.
Mm-mm. Ooh.
Oh, I see where the path is supposed to go now. It's interesting. I couldn't actually catch it because it stopped boosting right before I saw it. So I didn't manage to get quite as far, but I could have actually made it there if I kept boosting.
Yeah, I've never tried it since I'm at the situation in the career mode where doing experimental things is kind of frowned upon, as you can imagine. you're kind of at that point as well. Where it's like, if you try an experimental thing and it doesn't work out, you got to restart the entire race.
Yeah.
That's like a free play, searching for shortcuts type moment.
Yeah. But also like,
I'll go to
trying to find the shortcuts isn't
yeah.
sort of entertaining enough for me to actually keep doing that. Yeah, you need to go through all the rings and sort of constantly be boosting them to actually catch that, I think.
I just hyper boosted.
Yeah, that works too.
Oh, that sucks. I hate the force fields. They were in Redout 1, but they were so much less aggressive.
Yeah.
They're not bad in concept. I don't mind them because they stop you from, like, literally skipping the entire course, so... But in Redout 1, they were really generous. Like, they covered the big areas where you couldn't, like, go from start to finish again, pretty much. But you could still do massive skips, and I feel like they're way too aggressive in this game.
Yeah.
There's one in particular I keep remembering from this game, which is on the Neo Tokyo map. It's the small little banky corner you can take, where you go off of it for a little bit to jump onto the corner, and you see like a bright blue wall appear right next to you. I'm like, come on, man! Like, no one's gonna skip that. You lose so much speed.
There's also like a giga skip place where you go into a tunnel-ish thing, and there's like a wall right before the tunnel, a force field. So I'm vaguely remembering. So I remember there being a couple times where I'm like, if you just remove the force field and I go over, I just slam into a regular wall, and if I don't go over, I just sort of barely catch what I need to get, and it's like a difference of like 3 car lengths. Like, why have it here? It's just useless.
Yeah, I feel like they should redo a lot of these force fields.
Yeah.
To be a hell of a lot less aggressive, because most of them either don't constitute a actual skip, B, are actually genuinely harmful. Like, I think there are more harmful than helpful walls in the game.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of times where I'll be like going super far, doing a big skip, just like a straight line, mainly in the moon map ish, like Newman's Outpost. That's it. Where you can fly for like a really long time, but for some reason there's just this invisible wall right at the end where you're supposed to land. Like, that stops you from doing it, and you're like, come on, like, if you're gonna allow me to do it on the air map, let me do it on this map,
Yeah, exactly. But I had a thought where it's like, there's like a pretty easy solution to this, and the problem is obviously that they don't want to let you fly all the time, so you don't skip too much of the stage, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to let you fly over the stage normally because like actually being constantly in the air does give you a bit of a speed advantage. So make the invisible walls run alongside the track so you can't go too far off the track, and just put a corner in towards where you want them to stop flying.
Yeah.
So they have to land before the corner, and then you don't get people sort of being punished for trying to maximize their flight distance, and you still prevent the skips.
Yeah. I mean, I also think that like having skips in general would be fun. Something to learn and like. I
mean, I do think allowing flight unrestricted would cause like two agreed skips.
Like people would do like. People would do the equivalent of like one-man army nude tubing across spawn. Like they would find some corner at the start of the map, go up into the air, and then like reverse back down.
Yeah, especially on the map you were on just now. It's like massively open.
Yeah.
That would be just prime skipping material. So like I said, just sort of have the invisible balls run alongside the parts of the track where you don't want people to skip, and that should be fine.
But I also think you can, like, stop people from skipping part of the track, judging by the track design anyway. You know? Having force fields to stop people from skipping is kind of like a band-aid fix for like a, oh shit, you can do this. Well, let's just put a force field here to stop people from doing it. Like you kind of, it's like they've realized that you can skip, but you know?
I think you're partially right, but I also do think that there is sort of a thing of like, we absolutely don't want you to skip here, and we don't think the track design allows it. But, you know, players are much better at finding it stuff than the developers are, so we're gonna put the force fields up anyway, just in case.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff like that you can fix for, but I also think instead of a force field, they also could have made it a little bit more natural, like a rocks or like build it into the visual design.
I was gonna say that as well, but I think they sort of intentionally want there to be like big open landscapes to look at, so that's probably why they didn't.
True.
Because otherwise there would be a lot of places where it's like relatively constricted and like polluted landscape. And on stuff like this, they'd have to kind of make it be like the big red Torii gates or trees or whatever, because there's really nothing else to thematically fit in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a fine enough job, and like force fields are fine because from a game design standpoint. Yeah. It's just that I feel like they're a bit too aggressive, is what I mean.
Yeah.
They've snuffed out way too many, and been too aggressive in situations where like skipping would be like worse, or like even really awful. They've still put up force fields, and some of them are genuinely harmful to gameplay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what you're also saying, but the problem is that they're not exclusively preventing skip, but also just flying normally. Yeah. Like a natural feeling flight path, just like, oh, this is sort of my trajectory if I boost off that jump. Okay, that's fine. Whereas on a couple stages, you actually have to like point your nose down and boost towards the ground just to not hit the wall, and that feels really bad. Yeah, I feel like they should only be applicable if you really are trying to find like giga skips, you know? Yeah. If you're trying to be a little shithead. Trying to do what Bipin did that one time that we can never replicate. I went into that stage just to try to replicate it, or at least what I thought the stage was, and I couldn't get it working. Let's do one more. I was gonna say the same. Make it a decently long one. We haven't done Lunar City yet. Well, we have, but this really has been one of those podcast streams again. Pretty much. This is what Redout is honestly good for. It's just a podcast stream, since it's such an autopilotable game. Everything except for the last like 10 minutes has not been about Redout at all. And then when it was about Redout, we're complaining. This is honestly streams like these, and it's happened with like a couple other games as well. It's like the equivalent of 2016 YouTube commentary videos where it's just CSGO surfing in the background. Let's know what to do next. Have you ever done CSGO surfing? No. It's actually quite fun. Fucking Helix going ham. I do think the force fields are most aggressive on this set of maps, though.
Not to mention, there's also like very little situations where you can actually make use of them, since you have to be going on like you have to be holding up while going up a slope, right? Or when you're like resurfacing again. And like you can kind of control those. Also, what would fix this is making it so your ship doesn't fly off the map or fly off the track randomly. So
there's on the map with the ice parts, there's a force field where I keep flying into it because it's sort of just my natural flight path.
yeah.
But if they remove that force field, what would happen is I would crash into rocks a little bit later. And that's one of those things where I'm like, there's literally no impact except for it feeling better if you remove it.
Yeah.
Like crashing into scenery will feel better, more like my own fault, rather than game just saying, "Hey, no more fun." Okay, I wasn't sure if this was a straightaway, and I had to scratch my neck, so I was just kind of hoping. I just had to let go of my left joystick. I was like, well, I hope my steering can save me here. I managed to pick a good spot for it, though. I went off a jump, and I pointed my nose up directly to the sky for a split second, and when I looked back down, I had lost where the track was supposed to be, so I went onto the wrong part of the track and died.
Oh. Almost performed a gig escape. You almost did exactly what we want, what the developers probably don't want.
I mean, I guess this is sort of the thing though, where I landed on the wrong map part, but actually no, it's probably one of the disabled ones from different stage in the same area.
Oh, yeah.
But killed me.
Ugh. I'm still so sad that they made a Redout Space Assault and it was total fucking garbage. It was mostly disappointing because everyone was like, oh my god, it's Redout 2, my beloved. And it absolutely
and now
was
Redout
not.
is actually here. Now Redout is actually here and it has 100 players.
I feel like Redout Space Assault was not a good idea in the slightest.
What is it?
Redout, it's like, it's this game, but imagine free flying and combat.
Okay, that's pretty much what I assumed. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a military, like imagine a military version of this. But it was cool because when they revealed it, it looked really good. And then they made it a mobile game and made it like auto-scroll and it was garbage.
Oh.
Like, that's the disappointing part, is that it was a good idea. It's just they ended up deciding to make it a, I don't know, fucking mobile game. Because the final game looks quite a bit different from how they revealed it to be.
Yeah.
It was so disappointing.
It really is. I really kind of wish mobile gaming wasn't such a big market. It's always, it still feels kind of weird. And I know there's people that love mobile games, and that's fine. But it always feels kind of weird to me looking up phone benchmarks and like seeing gaming performance listed. And I'm like, man, who cares?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Coco. Oh, I died?
I just came to inform you of something.
Sure.
Oh.
So tomorrow I will be working a training night shift, so I won't be home until around like 7 or so my time.
Ooh.
Which is a shame because I really wanted to be around for the DNF duel.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Damn.
Yeah, so what I'm probably going to do so I can still get my fix in is I'm probably just going to stay up and wait for the exact moment the game releases so I can play.
I mean, doesn't it drop like near midnight for you?
Just about. Like, I think it's like
Is
2 or
it-
3 a.m. for Coco.
I think it's
Yeah.
actually like 1 a.m. maybe? Unsure.
Remember
In
when
any
it...
case, it shouldn't be too late for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I'll be up until like most likely 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what I did for Strive.
I'm probably gonna do the exact same thing because that's what I'm gonna do anyway. So, like, I always stay up till about 10 a.m.
Yeah, because I've developed a love for puppet characters, so I need all the practice I can get.
Well, no, it's interesting. I'm pretty sure it drops pretty much exactly when I wake up. So.
Earliest Waddicker stream.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're down, I don't have to be. The only good thing about it is I don't have to be at work until 10:30, so I got more time than usual.
I'll consider it. At the very least, I'm probably gonna be playing it since I'm gonna stay up to that time anyway. Also, remember we have to download it. Remember, since we can't preload.
Yeah. That's why I'm gonna stay up, even if it's a bad idea.
I'll be downloading while I'm eating breakfast.
Bipin just got DNF. Nice.
That's.
But hey, that's us done for the stream. Oh god, there's crumbs on my desk. Get off.
Alright. Well, I just wanted to let you know, I guess I'll see you all in a few hours then for DNF Duel.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You'll at least be seeing me mainly. Not mainly, guaranteed. Alright. Well,
bye.
See ya. And
See ya.
I'll see you later, Bipin as well.
Yes, see you later.
And I'll see all of you in chat later as well. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day.